So we may be in for a bit of a boring sideways summer price-wise in crypto. However, this is usually the time where a lot of big updates and changes happen on certain projects and the price is reflected a bit further down the line. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over some potentially bullish updates on Polkadot, which hasn't had the best start to the bull market. However, could these updates be the turning point? I'll also be going over a bit of technical analysis on Polkadot itself and of course the big two in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So let's get straight into it. Starting then with BTC on the daily time frame, and as you can see, or as you're probably well aware, we've had a bit of a drop this week. So as I talked about on Monday's video, we were up here about 69.7k, and it was important that we held above the moving average 21, and the resistance to break was the resistance that we failed to break multiple times now, which was 71.5k. However, unfortunately, we had a big drop on Tuesday in anticipation for Wednesday's FOMC and CPI, which actually all came in pretty good. CPI came in better than expected, and of course, there was no shock decisions in terms of the interest rates from the FOMC. However, we only had a bit of a small or short-lived rally, I should say, back up to about 70k, which we rejected. And as you can see, we are now struggling to get back above that moving average 21 on the daily time frame. We're also below the RSI 50 as well, and you can see on the LC trend and momentum indicator that we are going from a green trend bar to an orange trend bar, which usually indicates a potential change in trend. And as I say, alongside being below the moving average 21 and the RSI 50, it's not a good look. The only saving grace we have at the moment is that we are on this key level of support here at 66.7k. You can see this has been a support and resistance for a number of times, and of course is the daily mid-range of this entire range. So range high at 73k, range low about 60.5k. So we are sat on this level of support. If we were to get a daily close below this, then we may well be looking at a retest of the daily range lows of around 60.5k, which does seem quite far away. However, we have tested it multiple times over the past few months. So we've been stuck in this range from pretty much the 1st of March, and we're obviously now almost, well, we are at mid-June. So not going to be a surprise if we end up still continuing to chop around this range for the next couple of months. A lot of people expecting a bullish move coming in around the end of August, start of September. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But at the moment, I would definitely be defensive. As I say, until BTC can get back above the moving average and above the RSI 50 on the daily time frame, I think you should be looking to be defensive and potentially look for shorts as well. But we'll see whether this daily mid-range level holds up. In terms of Ethereum as well, if we take a look at this, so again, what I said on Monday, we had to hold this daily level of 3685, which was also the moving average 21 level. You can see we held it on that big dump on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday we just about held onto it, and then Tuesday, of course, the big drop. And the rally we had on Wednesday after the FOMC, or it was just before the CPI and FOMC actually, but we rallied up, had a bearish retest of the moving average 21, which you can see we are well under, and of course still under the RSI 50 as well from that drop, and the LT trend momentum indicator turning from green to amber, or orange I should say, on Ethereum as well. So as I talked about on Monday, because we've closed below this daily level and the moving average 21, we may well be looking at coming down for a retest of this daily level of 3251. You can see big level of support and resistance in the past, and essentially pretty much wiping out the ETH ETF candle, which now looks like it was a pretty obvious liquidity grab. You can see it got everyone excited, money piled in, and then it's just been wiped out over the last couple of days. So as I say, could be in for a bit of a long choppy summer. If we go onto the higher time frames in Ethereum, we may well be looking at coming down to retest the moving average 21, which is currently sat around 3,180. Of course, it will start creeping up if we can hold, or we may well be testing this weekly level of $3,060 as well. You can see the RSI not looking too good either. Maybe come down, have a little retest of the 50 RSI as well. So it could be in for a bit of a choppy sideways summer. Let's see how things go. But now let's get into the meat of the video, which is the Polkadot news. Starting with the news that RWAs, or real world assets, are coming to the Polkadot ecosystem. So I've zoomed in on the browser. I got a comment on the last video about needing to zoom in because you can't read it. So I have done that. Hopefully it is zoomed in enough for you to read and see. If not, then drop a comment in the comments below and I will adjust for the next video. But essentially, as I say, real world assets coming to Polkadot, which is great. Bring in more liquidity to the ecosystem and a little bit more attention as well, because RWAs have been a big narrative over the past few months. So what are RWAs? They are essentially tokenizing real world assets such as real estate, precious metals, artwork, intellectual property, commodities, etc. Bring liquidity, accessibility, transparency, and efficiency to the world of DeFi, which is what we all want to see. So some projects already on the Polkadot ecosystem for RWAs: Centrifuge, Energy Web, Ficon Network, Agro Token, etc. And if you go onto CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, you can actually search into categories and you can take a look at the top RWAs in the market. So as you can see, 30-day performance on some of them has been pretty good compared to other projects. Other news for DOT as well. So there's currently a vote on whether we should have a fixed maximum supply for Polkadot. So currently it's an unlimited supply and has about a 10% inflation. However, they're looking at changing that. As you can see, great thing about Polkadot is that the holders can vote on changes. So at the moment, it's a 28-day vote, 4 days in, so still 24 days. And currently the eyes are winning by about 2/3. So we'll see how that goes. At the moment, it's just for people to have their say. And of course, you can take a look at the comments below as well. There's lots of different opinions, which is great. As I say, that is all part of a democracy. So we'll see how that goes and what changes can potentially be implemented. But regardless of what changes come in, one great thing is that it hopefully will get people talking and bring more attention to the project, because at the moment, as I said at the beginning of the video, it's had a bit of a lackluster start to the bull market. And then finally, we've also got the ongoing Polkadot 2.0 upgrades that are coming through as well. So again, hopefully this is going to bring a little bit more attention and liquidity into the project itself, which is what we need. So fingers crossed, this could be a bit of a game changer. So let's go take a look at what we are hoping to achieve on the charts. Starting on the monthly chart then, and as you can see, we had a pretty good couple of months, breaking out in December, bit of a lull in January, and then February and March we looked off to the races. We were up around $11, so we've broken that $10 barrier. However, we came crushing down in April and haven't really got off the ground since. You can see pretty important level we're currently holding here, about $6.30. It's the top of this monthly range high, so we really don't want to see a deviation back into this range, because that opens up the door to retest those monthly range lows down at $3-4, which we don't really want to see. You know, we've broken out this range, we want to hold back above it. So important monthly closes over the next couple of months, even if BTC does trend sideways. If we have a look at a potential return back to all-time highs, you can see that is plenty of multiples there, around 760% on the table potentially. So still got a lot of potential, but even if it doesn't make it back to all-time highs, what if it only makes it back to about $23 this peak here, that is still decent multiples, 270% on that. However, as I say, holders will be hoping for a return to all-time highs and potentially beyond. If we take a look at the lower time frame, so looking at the weekly time frame, so again, we did get a decent close and hold above this $8.63 important weekly level. However, we eventually succumbed and broke below it back on the 8th of April. And you can see we're really struggling to break above this weekly moving average 21. You can see we've been below it since that week. We've tested it as resistance a couple of times and failed to get above it. So objective number one would be to hold these monthly range highs as support, not deviate back into the range. You can see this is a pretty big level on the weekly time frame as well. We've not actually closed below this level since we broke above it back in December of last year. So important to hold this level, then get above this weekly moving average, start to trend up, break above the weekly level of $8.63, and then we can start looking at that move up to $16, which we were looking like doing back in March, where we got up to about $11-12. It looked like we were set to head up to $16. However, didn't make it, and now we are where we are. But as I say, objectives: hold the monthly range highs, break above the moving average, and then break above $8.63, and we should be all good. In terms of the daily time frame, currently in a range, so the range high of around $7.67, a range low of $5.96, but you can see not looking too good in terms of we are below the moving average 21, we're below the RSI 50, we've got a red trend bar on the LC trend momentum indicator, and we have retested this daily mid-range as resistance as well as the moving average 21 and rejected off of both of them. So Potentially what we could see is a retest of these daily range lows at $5.96 where we pinged off on the 7th of June on that dump on Friday. Maybe have a little deviation, shake people out, get below $5.96 and then reclaim the range, which would be a very bullish signal to watch out for. And then we can start attacking the range highs and then breaking out of that weekly level. So at the moment, as I said at the beginning of the video, probably time to be cautious until we see BTC and Ethereum start trending upwards. And as I say, look out for, if we do get a drop in DOT, have a look for that reclaim of the daily range lows here at $5.96, and we may well start trending up from there. So what do you think is going to be happening in the market over the next couple of weeks? Do you think this is all bullish news for DOT, or have you got concerns? Drop them in the comments below, and of course don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy our content. But in the meantime, have a good weekend, and I'll catch you on the next video.